everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. And in case you missed it, my last video, I did an in-depth introduction on what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to implement the Black Lives Matter movement right now into my platforms and how I can help in the small ways that I can with my very small platform. One of the ways that you can help me is actually by watching my videos. I have 40,000 minutes until I am monetized. So the longer you watch my videos, the more videos you watch, the faster I will get to monetization. And once I do, I have chosen a specific organization to donate money to. It's you buy a t-shirt and it is gifted to a random Black woman to show that you are an ally, and it is called Ally Project Phoenix, and I will link that down below in case you want to donate on your own. It's $15 for a t-shirt. And that is just one of the small ways that I plan on helping. I also did already purchase a t-shirt in case you are wondering. But you guys, ColourPop is back. Just a few days ago they had a launch. I don't even remember. I'm losing track of days at this point. We're in the middle of trying to move and buy a new house. So my mind is all over the place. But I was kind of concerned because I was like, okay, I ordered from this launch and we're moving out of this house July 17th. And the only reason why I was truly worried is because I know that they had been shut down and they are slowly shipping out orders. So I just was like, I don't know how behind they still are. And so I actually tweeted ColourPop and I was like, hey, how's shipping going? Because I was just like, want to make sure in case I have to change my address. You know, I just don't want it to get sent to the wrong house. And they didn't reply back, but like 3 hours later I had a shipping notification and I was like, wow. If you've ever purchased from ColourPop in the past, you know, sometimes they're really fast and sometimes they're not really fast. It kind of just depends, I think, on how big their launch was, but I think they're trying to be like, we're back, we're ready to rock and roll because I have a package. So their first launch, I mean, it's crazy. We know ColourPop releases like crazy. And I've kind of missed them, but it's also been a good break because I've gotten the chance to explore a few more brands and buy more from other brands, especially indie makeup brands that I normally probably wouldn't have just because I had already spent my money on ColourPop, because ColourPop gets me like every time. So that was kind of nice, just to get the chance to explore new brands. But enough of me talking. I'm sure you're tired of it already, and I do a lot of it. I'm sorry. They released a tie-dye collection. I'm sure they were inspired by everyone doing tie-dye during quarantine. That's honestly all I wanted to do for Mother's Day, but then like I think there were a few things out of stock, so we didn't get to do it, but it's okay, I'll survive. So they came out with 3 palettes and a few other things from their Soul Body line and their other sister brands, but I only purchased 2 of the palettes, actually 3. So they came out with this one called Aura and Out, and this is kind of the green tie-dye one, and then they have a purple one called In a Trance, the purple blue one, and there was a peachy pink one, and I was like, I have probably like 20 ColourPop palettes that are peachy pink and I love it and I'm sure it's beautiful and I still want it deep down, but I was like, I could spend that money instead to purchase one of these, an extra one for someone on Instagram. I'm very close to hitting 3,000 on Instagram, and pretty much every 1,000 I get to, I do a giveaway. So I actually bought another In a Trance to give away once I hit 3,000. It's not the only thing I'm giving away, it's something I'm adding to. I've actually been collecting over time, so I'm excited to give you guys one of these palettes. These are $12, and what you get is you get a nice plastic little component, and you do get a mirror, which is great for travel, and you get 9 shades. Now normally ColourPop does kind of a monochromatic look with the 9-pan palette, in case you're not familiar, and these tie-dyes are kind of a nice break from that because we're getting a little bit of variety. I think some people were to the point like, how many more monochromatic palettes can you do, which I think they probably have a ton more up their sleeve. I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. It's like they don't get old. They're a good buy and it's good quality, and I love them. I love the 9-pan palettes. So this is the green orange one called Aura and Out, and you have kind of your kind of peachy tones, but more orangey peachy. It's like a creamsicle, and some green tones like lime greens, and some minty shades, and a pressed glitter, as well as a super shock shadow. So I think they did a good job with variety of textures in these. And here is the purple one in a trance. I do have swatches on my Instagram. I do videos, I do up closeness. That is just for the love of glitter. Go follow so you can win this palette possibly. But this one, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this one reminds me of what the My Little Pony should have been. Like when I look at this, I think of My Little Pony so much. I love that the Super Shock is a lighter duochrome. This one is just really, really pretty, and it's the one that I think first stood out to me the most that I really wanted. So again, I'll be giving, which is why I picked this one up to add to my giveaway. So I did use this palette on this eye today. I used a lot of shades and the pressed glitters. And then I used the green one on this side today. Again, I also used pressed glitters. So if you would like to see the demo, then just keep watching. I will forewarn you, just like I've been super chatty right now, I am super chatty in the video. And sometimes I lose my train of thought because I get really distracted and focused, and sometimes talking and doing makeup is just not my best quality. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think that we are going to go into the purple blue one first, called In a Trance. Again, I picked up an extra one to add to my giveaway when I hit 3,000 subscribers on Instagram, instead of buying the pinky or peachier palette. And also I just felt like I have so many pinky peachy palettes from ColourPop. Yes, it looked amazing. Yes, I'm sure it's beautiful, but I look at the palettes I have from ColourPop and I have a plethora of pinky peachy shades. So I'm going to start off by priming my eyes with the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. I use this all the time. I can't believe it's not gone yet, but it's not gone. And I always tell you guys that I really want the white base one, and it's still true. I really want the white base one, but I just haven't bought it yet because I feel like it's not a necessity. But it would probably be really nice for this one, especially since these are kind of more pastel-y type shades. They are a little bit lighter. When I did swatch these, they did take a little bit more building. So we'll see what happens. I do have that Morphe 35 eye palette, which is full of pastels, and you guys know I struggled with that one. It's a love-hate relationship. I did purchase some brushes from Shop Miss A, so I'm going to be testing these out today too. And they are the AOA, what is it called? AOA Studio. I actually bought another one to add to my 3,000 giveaway on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram so you can enter that when I put that up. But I'm glad I like unwrapped this one first because mine actually came a little bit damaged. So I was like, oh, well, I'm glad that that wasn't theirs, and the one that I'm giving away looks perfectly fine, so that's good. So we're gonna start off with the E126. They do have numbers on them. That's pretty cool. And I think we're going to start off with the lightest blue, and it is called Future. I love how these are hologram, the names. It's really awesome. Future Self is just a very light, powdery, matte blue shade. Nothing crazy. This is having a little bit of a harder time picking it up on the brush. I do notice that. It's kind of not... and I don't know if it's the brush width. I guess that I should not be doing a review with new brushes. What's wrong with me? All mine are dirty. We're in the middle of moving. Please don't judge me. It's been crazy here. So, I don't know. Things have been crazy. We are getting ready to move. We actually move. Our closing date is July 17th. So it's coming. It's coming. So I feel like I definitely have to build this one, but it is buildable. The good thing about the e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer is I feel like you can pretty much build pretty easily because it is a little bit more sticky, a little bit more tacky or of a base. We're going to go into this pink shade called Daydream Baby right here. And we're gonna use probably another one. This one's a little bit more defined, it looks like, and this one is called the E127. It's a little, oh wow, so that one had a lot of powder kick up. So let's go ahead. Wow, it's very pigmented. Man, do you see that? Let's get a little bit closer, shall we? I'm gonna dim the light a little bit. Sometimes some of you say my lights are too bright. I always am looking at the viewfinder. Someone also commented on that, and usually it's to make sure, sometimes you'll see like my sides of my backdrop pop in, or just basically to make sure you can even see what I'm doing. It's a bad habit, but I also don't have a monitor, so that's kind of what we're stuck with right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I really do apologize. I really am sorry. Okay, using the same one, I'm going to go into Transcend Dance, which is this blue with the sparkles in it. That one is picking up like crazy too. So, wow. You guys. Okay. I mean, they're pigmented. They're pigmented. Alright, and lastly we're going to go into purple called Own Your Power, which is this matte kind of gray lilac-y type of tone color, and we're going to take that there. I almost feel like the pink and the blue are turning into purple. Anyways, I guess I kind of wish it was a little bit of a lighter pink, but that's okay. I feel like this purple is kind of getting lost in that blue. So I think what we might do is do this up level one. It's kind of that pinky purple one. And I think we'll put that one in the outer instead. But these are all picking up very nicely. Okay. So don't get me wrong. Like, these are good, but this isn't like what I was really going for. But I'm not like mad about it. But that's just like my problem, I think, because I just don't know how to use colors, I guess, going back into that blue. So you can really tell the difference. Sometimes it's a matter of that, taking that light blue that we very first went into, which the light blue honestly seems to be the biggest trouble shade, just going back into it. So far, pretty pigmented. I'm going to go into the let's see, what do we do? Pink. I'm going to basically replicate what I did to the crease. These are having a little bit of a hard time picking up. Now going into, I'm going to take Transcend, that darker blue we have in the middle, and then going into Own Your Power, the purple we first went into, and then the darker one called Up Level. Not really sure what I want to put all over the lid. We have a few options. We're gonna do the Mind's Eye. I wish it was lighter. It's kind of this dark purple. We'll see how it applies dry. I feel like this brush is not okay. It's starting to pick it up slowly. Okay, on the eye though it does look a lot lighter. I'm gonna wet this brush. I think it really needs it. I feel like, honestly, with the picking up problem though, I think it's more of my brushes versus the ColourPop, because usually I don't really have this problem. And I don't think they completely like redid their entire formula while they were on their little break. So I just don't, I think it's more working with this brush. So what it is picking it up just fine. I'm going to take Clarity, which is the Super Shock Shadow right here, and we're going to put that on the inner corner. See if we can pick it up with a brush first. It's basically just a white shifty duochrome, and it shifts to like light blue. I'm taking my finger. Super Shocks always work way better using your finger. If you are new, I'm not flipping you off, I'm sorry. If you're new to using ColourPop, I actually almost want to take that and try and pack it on the inner third. Okay. And we might take the glitter. I don't love their pressed glitters that much, if I'm being honest. Normally I would use glitter glue. I can't find it right now. Like I said, we're in the middle of moving. So I'm just going to take it on my finger and we're going to just pack it on and hope it sticks. It is very pretty. I don't feel like it's a unique glitter compared to what they've done in the past. I feel like it's just one of the, I mean, it's like a rainbowy type one that really reflects kind of blue a lot. Blue and purple and green. So here is that eye. I actually love it. It makes me almost sad that these are 9-pan palettes because that Morphe 355 palette is a huge struggle with me, and if this formula was like in a huge palette, oh my gosh, it'd be one of the best probably pastel palettes. And sometimes it's just easier to use one big palette instead of reaching for 3. But you guys, it's really pretty. Ooh. I honestly thought the green's gonna be my favorite, but I don't know. I really like these shades together, and the glitter's actually sticking on pretty good without a glitter glue. Like, I don't think I have fallout yet. Alright, priming the other eye. Here we go. The white under the brow bone just to have something to lay down there. I do notice it is kind of sticking to this primer a little bit weird and chunky. There might be some leftover blue on that brush. Okay, so we're going to start off by going into the, let's start off with the lightest orangey shade. It's almost like a yellow. And we'll start off, alright. These have been really pigmented so far. Yep. Now I'm going to go, that one's called You're a Vision. Now I'm going to go into Solar Hour, which is the more orangey tone one. And we're going to kind of just, wow. So I thought that this orangey tone would kind of look a little bit more muted and less bright, but it is, you actually can tell that it's pretty bright, which is good. I'm going to go into a more dense brush. This one's called the E130 from Shop Miss A. It does have a few little straggle hairs, but we're going to go into this green called Fresh Cut, which is kind of like a lime green. Wow, that one's really powdery, but do you see it's like even flying into my hair? That doesn't really bother me, but do you see that pigmentation? That's what we want. Like, holy cow. But it's getting a little bit out of control because I did not mean to bring it all the way down there, so it is getting a little bit crazy. Okay. Next, we're going to go into the blue called Vibes, which is at the top. We'll see if this one is dark enough to compete with that green. I don't know. Okay, a lot of fallout. Wow. This one is a super duper powdery palette. I feel like this one you definitely want to make sure you blow off the excess because it is, she's a powdery. I'm going to take this first yellow we use and kind of just swipe it on the top to kind of give those shadows something to blend into. Going back into Vibes, that kind of, I just screwed this up. Okay, so I went back into that turquoise one and completely went over that lime green. So we're going to go back into that lime green called Fresh Cut, which, do you see how pigmented that one is? Because it is like covering that back up. Like, it's like, oh, you thought you covered me up, no problem. These are pretty intense, but I feel like while still maintaining kind of pastel like it looks very almost like watercolory, I guess, which is really cool. Okay, so I'm going into Vibes, which, holy, lots of, okay, this one has, I feel like, way more fluff and fallout than the last one did. Going into the green, just copying everything we did on the top. going into those oranges. I just kind of bounced back and forth in them. I think we're gonna go into the lime green called Healing Heart, the shimmer. This one swatched so nicely and it seemed like it was gonna be really pigmented. Yeah, because this is dry. Remember when I tried using the other one dry, nothing showed up, so I'm going to wet my brush. If you are new here, I always like to wet my brushes with shimmer because I like them to be as intense as possible. So that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, it just makes it like 50 times easier and faster to building up the intensity that you want. And then I think we're gonna go into New Age, which is a mint green. Very pretty. There's still some dampness on my brush. I think I'm gonna have to go back into those matte colors and rebuild them. And that's okay, that happens a lot. Sometimes you just have to keep going back and forth when doing your makeup, and that's okay. I don't know. Like, these are pretty, but I don't know how much I love the look that I personally just created with it. Like, I'm not like loving it. I'm not in love. I think someone else probably could have done a way better job than me, but I'm gonna take that white and put it on my inner corner just so I can have my pop of inner corner brightness. And going into Energetics, which is the glitter in this one. Let's see if it's any different than the last one. It looks really similar. Like, this one might have a few more gold shimmers spark. These glitters are actually really fine. But the thing I don't like about these is they make a huge mess in the pan, and I don't know. But they're actually sticking pretty well. So I'm going to add lashes to this side and all that jazz. Now that I looked at the glitters in a mirror, I can tell the difference. This one has more like purple, blue, turquoise reflex, and this one is gold and like green, but a lot more gold versus this one. I also feel like this one's even more fine. The good thing about these glitters is they're very fine. So I really love this like tie-dye theme. I'm really excited to see what else ColourPop brings to us. I am so shocked because I think this one's my favorite. I just love the way this eye look came out so much, and this one was a little bit powdery and had a lot more fallout. So if you get this one, I think you definitely would want a stickier base, but also to do your eyeshadow first before you do the rest of your makeup, just so you don't have a bunch of fallout, and also maybe like it's a little bit hard because I feel like when you tap it off, a lot falls off, and so it's just like not binding very well. So when you pick it up and you place it there, it's so pigmented, but as soon as you start blending, it is it's pretty messy. But this does make me wish that ColourPop honestly just made a really big pastel palette, because I think they could do it better than Morphe did. Instead of having to buy like 3 palettes, or maybe incorporating even more types of pastels, I think I would still buy it even though I have these. I think they would do a good job, because this one especially is really good. So it's very pigmented. This one I definitely was more impressed with the quality than this one. I feel like this one's not terrible, but I do feel like it might frustrate a few. I also feel like this one has a better mixture in terms of lights and darks, and this one I feel like it's all kind of like lights, which is supposed to be pastel, but I feel like there's no like, I like shimmery inner corner highlights, and I feel like I couldn't get that from this one. So that's the only thing. I honestly thought it'd be my favorite, but I think it's this one. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know down below. You guys have a great day, and I hope this was somewhat helpful.